What is up, my All American fam, and welcome back to Nic All American TV. Boy, are you in for an episode today. Today, we're actually doing the repairs on Kathy's deficiency list. Alright guys, we got a lot of ground to cover, so starting off right out of the gate, we're going to go ahead and we're going to jump on these tail lights. We had some turn signals that weren't working, so we're going to get on replacing these bulbs, and then we're going to get onto our tailgate hinges, and then we're going to fill our diff fluid up. We're going to be knocking these out pretty quick because we got a lot of material to cover, so let's get it. Guys, when you're doing lights, try to be sure to do your best not to touch the light bulb. I don't know if it actually means anything, but that's what I was always told. Alright guys, starting out on the tailgate back here, you'll notice I've already removed the tailgate. Some of the things to keep in the back of your mind when you're thinking about your tailgate and stuff, what I noticed before I took my hinges off is I noticed that these hinges are shimmed. Now, when we go to put these hinges back on, we need them to line up exactly where they're at, okay? So one of the ways that you can do this, you can mark it with a marker, you can mark it with a piece of tape, you can mark it however you like to mark it. Me personally, Kathy's a work truck. I just took my flathead screwdriver and scribed right there around the hinges. So now I've got a mark that's not going to wear off on the hinge to tell me where it's at. We're going to do this one at a time. You gotta make sure that you put your shim back onto your new hinge. What's up guys, down here underneath Kathy, we're going to pop this diff cover off. We're going to look in here and see what's going on inside of here. Now when we open up this diff cover, a couple of things that we're going to be looking for right out of the gate. One is to see if there's any water in here, because if water's gotten inside of this diff, this road trip's over before it's even gotten started. So let's dig into it and see what we get. Now, what you guys will notice when you see me doing this, you notice I loosened this top bolt up here. I didn't take it out. Well, that's because when you go to drain diff, when you go to drain the rear end like what we're doing right here, if you take all these bolts out, this cover is just going to fall off. And then if it falls off, then you got a mess on your hands. So what we're going to do is we're going to go around, we're going to break them all loose. We're going to leave this one in here, and after all the other bolts are out except for this one right here, then we'll loosen this one up and we'll pop that plate off there and let that gear oil drain down in there. Go get some power tools and make this a little bit faster. Y'all hang tight. And I'm back. Ta-da! Well, I can tell you right now, from what I see coming out of this thing, I don't see a whole lot of water coming out of it. So that's a good thing. Man, I'm gonna tell y'all what. If y'all know the smell of gear oil and know how it stinks like the devil's armpits, y'all can imagine what this smell is underneath here. Whew. Man, this stuff stinks. Tell you one thing, I ain't gonna need my happy pin tonight. Alright guys, back underneath here today, we're going to clean this cover up, clean our mating surfaces up, and we're going to reseal it. You'll notice that as I'm running this wire brush, I'm constantly scraping in one direction. And that is so I can keep debris from going into the differential. Aha! Chisel! Have chisel will go far. And now we'll pop up top and clean this cover. Alright, now see here guys, whoever installed this diff cover last, you can see how all the RTV is built up around the inside, and there's nothing smeared on the width of the mating surface. That thing would have never sealed ever. See, here at Nic's All American TV, only the finest is going to do. I'm too broke to go buy some new RTV, so I'm having to dig this shit out. Probably should have used a wood screw, but alright guys, whenever you are applying RTV to a surface or anything like that, you need to make sure that that surface is clean. Right now I'm using some brake clean, wiping down our surface, making sure that we have everything out of here that's going to come out, making sure that our surface looks good and clean. And then we're going to put some RTV on the actual mating surface. Now, when you're doing this, be mindful of how you're putting it on there, okay? Don't smear this stuff and have big globs inside your pumpkin. You will have a problem. Because if that RTV gets inside that pumpkin while it's rotating, you can tear some stuff up. Plus, I kind of like to think of doing this step as like putting a layer of primer down, if you will. Give something for the other RTV to hold on to, you know. Now the other thing, because we're not using a gasket here, we're using this Rid-Of black flavor. I'm going to make sure that I put some RTV on the threads of the bolt. The reason I'm putting the RTV on the threads of the bolt is these holes, some of these holes actually go all the way through and you'll get fluid draining out of them. And of course, naturally, here at Nic's All American TV, we're going to put way too much of it on each one of these bolts. And then we're not going to have enough to go all the way around, and that's going to be fine. But, you know, whatevs. Alright, now that we have all of our bolts and everything for the most part how we're going to do it, let's put this thing back on here, shall we? Now when you're tightening these bolts up, guys, remember to tighten these bolts just as if you were tightening like an intake manifold or anything else with a gasket. Okay? Always go opposite of one another and make sure it stays square and seals tight. Now me, I'm going to go to the 12 o'clock position. I'm going to go until it just barely gets snug. And then I'm going to go to the 6 o'clock position. Now I'm going to go to the 3 o'clock position. And so on and so forth. Alright, now from here, guys, what we're going to do is we're going to let this sit here and tack up for probably about a half hour or so. And when this thing tacks up, then we'll come back and we'll tighten it down the rest of the way. And the other thing that we're looking for is, you see, we have a nice solid bead all the way around the cover, okay? And that's what we're looking for, alright? If you don't see that bead all the way around, I promise you that thing will leak. I promise you. What's up, guys? Inside the truck here, we're getting after Kathy because she has thrown a check engine light on me. And so now we got to figure out what's going on with her yet again to see what we can do to make her happy. Let's get it. All right. Now that we got the whole dash and everything ripped apart, because, you know, Chevy life. Crack open the old laptop here and see what's crack-a-lacking with Kathy and why she's acting the way she's acting. Let's see. Well, let's see what's wrong with her. Why is she throwing this check engine code on me? Now we'll go here. Y'all believe that? All of that to get that. Where's it at? Ain't that some shit? And they followed me all the way into town. I went to the mailbox. And they passed on the mailbox and everything, and they circled around the block. So when I came out to get in the truck, they followed me all the way back up here to get on the road. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're just fucking around. Well, they're just doing that just to see if they can nail you with something, some way. Yeah. That's the way they are. I've seen them from the start, so I didn't ever do nothing. You know, no, I was doing 25 and 25 and all that Well, that's going to do it here for this episode of Nic All American TV and all of Kathy's deficiencies. I know she's ready to hit the road, and brother, so am I. You guys have to stay tuned and stay up to date with us. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the like button. Hit the share while you're at it. Bleep bloop it down in the comments down yonder, like old BGG says. Let me know what you think. Till next time, guys, remember, keep the shiny side up and the greasy side down. You got the one airborne, we'll catch you on a turnaround. We go.